Hey everybody, this is Dan with Excel VBA is Fun. Today I've got a very interesting question by Sale All or Sally All or something. Anyway, he or she says, I'm a beginner in Excel VBA. I have a question. I have column A, B, and C. Basically they have the numbers 1, 2, and 3, right? And so what they want to do is they want to go all the way until it says 6, 7, 8. And the maximum that column A can be is 8. The maximum column B can be is 7 and then 6. Here's the weird counting rules that they have. It's going to go 1, 2, 3. Then the next row is going to be 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 5, 1, 2, 6. And I think they meant that column C is 8, and then column A is perhaps 6. Yes, okay. But anyway, so it goes 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 5, 1, 2, 6, 1, 2, 7, and then when it goes to 1, 2, 8, the next one will be 1, 3, 4. So you notice that it goes 1, 3, 4. So meaning that the 4 is 1 more than whatever this happens to be when this increments. 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 6, 1, 3, 7, 1, 3, 8. And you guessed it, it's going to be 1, 4, 5. Because again, the third row or the next row over always has to be 1 more than the one that just incremented. So it's 1, 3, 8, and then it stops at 8, remember? So then it goes 1, 4, 5, 1, 4, 6, 1, 4, 7, 1, 4, 8, and then it would go 1, 5, 6, 1, 5, 7, 1, 5, 8, 1, 6, 7, and etc. And then eventually the 1 would increment to a 2, and they'd probably start over. It would be 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 5, you know. So let's see how in the world do we do that. We've got to set up some rules on our macro. So the first row is written down here. We've got to set up some maximums and things to loop over. Let's get started. Alt F11 to get into the Visual Basic menu. Of course, I'm going to add a new module to contain our code. We're going to give it a name, sub, and then the name of the macro. The macro is going to be, God, what do we call this? Crazy rules. I don't know. It's probably not crazy. I'm sure there's a rhyme or a reason. We need to declare our sheet. We'll just say WS as worksheet, and we're going to set up the worksheet to be equal to this workbook.sheets, and in fact it's called sheet 1. I didn't mean to hit enter there. Alright, so now whenever we do WS dot, it'll take in the value of sheet 1 as if I was typing all that crap. WS dot, okay? So we need to get the next row. Basically, the next row is going to be equal to WS dot cells, rows dot count. You should be able to do this by now, probably in your sleep. And we're going to do +1 because we want to do the next row. So here's what the normal thing does. It goes here. But what we're doing is we're saying go XL up, which is control up, and then go to the next row. So it'd be 1, and we would say 1 plus 1 is 2. So we would always be on the newest, freshest row, and so we need to do the next row thing probably at the end of the code as well, but we'll copy and paste that in a minute. Now we need to set up the rules. Column 1, we'll say C1 max is going to be 8. No, column 1 max is 6. C2 max is 7. Column 3 max, the max that it can be, equals 8. Okay, we've got our maximums now. We can use those rules in a few minutes. And then we're going to need to, that's might be all we need for now. We'll analyze that in a second. I'm going to scooch this down so we can kind of see what's happening in the background here. So what we need to do is start with really, we could just make it start with what it needs to be. So we're going to say ws.cells. We're going to say 1, comma 1 is going to be 1, 1, comma 2, meaning column 2 and row 1 is equal to 2. This is our starting point. So 1, comma, so column 3 is going to have the value of 3. That's our starting point. Okay, we got that all laid out. So let's run that part. I'm going to clear this out. Let's debug through it very quickly. F8, F8, F8. So here's the next row is going to be row 2. That's correct. Well, let's see here. Yeah. It's okay. And then column 1 max, column 2 max, column 3 max, they're all set up. Okay, the starting one, this cell's 1, 1 is going to have the number 1 in it, number 2 in it, you see up here, and then the number 3 in the next one. So I'm not done yet though. Here's what we need to do. We need to create a loop. So we're going to do for x equals 1 to whatever, 1 to 1,000. And we'll just stop it prematurely whenever we're done with all of our conditions. So we know that the ending point is if ws.cells x comma 1 equals 6, and I need to copy and paste this probably. I can type reasonably fast. So if that is 6 and the one in column 2 is 7 and the one in column 3 is 8, then we're going to exit the sub. So there's our condition. Once this, whatever is in column 1 says 6 and this says 7, this says 8, we're going to exit everything because we're good to go. So here's what we do. X is first going to be 1, then it's going to loop, then it's going to be 2, then it's going to be 3, and then it's going to be 4. So it's going to go to the next row and the next row for us. So that's always good. So here's what we need to do. We need to analyze each of these cells and see if really we need to see it based on the last one. If the last one's 8, then we need to boost up this one. But at the same time, if this one is all the way up to 7, if it's all the way up to its maximum, then we need to increment this one. And then the rules will apply that everything needs to be equal to the one of its buddies plus 1. So, craziness. Lots of fun though, right? So we need to analyze. Let's get to analyzing. So if this in column 3, if this is equal to 8, then and it'll be different based upon, well, let's take it one step at a time, shall we? If this is 8, then the one in column 2, well, then we need to do another if, don't we? If the one in column 2 is also 7, then, so if that's the case, then the one in column 1 needs to be incremented as well. So if that's an 8 and that's a 7, then oops, the one in column 1 needs to be equal to itself plus 1, but that's not very common. Otherwise, yeah, so if it's not, if column 2 isn't all the way up to 7, then we're just going to increment column 2. Equals itself, oops, plus 1. Let's do an end if. Okay, that's pretty wild stuff, right? But oh, also, oh boy, also, wow, there's a lot of rules here, aren't there? It's not as simple as I thought. That's alright. If it's not 8, then we just need to increment itself. Column 3 equals ws.cells x comma 3 plus 1. Now we may have to go to the next row first. So let's see what's going on here. I just want to run it to right here. Hit F5. What happened? Oh, fine, hit F8. Okay, that's good. X is 1 to 1,000. If Wx to cells equals 6, and all that, so no, none to all those conditions aren't met. If this is 8, it's not 8, so otherwise, maybe we need to do the next row. Maybe x plus 1. Yeah, that's what we need to do, perhaps. Alright, so the next row is going to be equal to the current row plus 1. Hit F8. And I guess the other ones need to be equal to the current row plus nothing, you know what I mean? So let's... Row 1 is the same. Row 2 is the same. Not plus 1 and not plus 1. Alright, let's come together. Let's see. That is going to be... The next row on column 1 is going to be the same as this row. So that's right. And this one's going to be a 2 still, but this one's going to be a 3 plus 1, which is going to be a 4. So that's right. Let's go to the next x. The next x is going to be row 2. So we're going to analyze row 2. Okay. Yeah, so first of all, is this 6? Is this 7? Is this 8? No, it isn't. We'll keep going. If this is column 3, 1, and 8, no, it's a 4. So otherwise, we're going to see what's going on here. Let's see. It's going to be 1. That's still going to be 2. This is going to change to a 4 plus 1. So dot, dot, dot. Yes, it's working. Great. It feels good when it's working, you guys. I don't know if you've played around with this stuff yet, but gosh, it feels good when you get it right. 1, 2, 6. Let's see. 1, 2, 7. Oh, thank you. And let's see. This is not 6, 7, 8 yet, so let's see. Otherwise, let's see. 1, 2, and this is going to be an 8. Now let's analyze again. This is going to be interesting because now we know that this thing is equal to 8, so we're going to see what happens now. So yes, it is an 8. So let's see, is this the next one over a 7? Well, no, it isn't. So we're going to go to the else. We're going to say, and of course we need to affect all 3, but right now we're saying that the second column needs to increment. So let's do that. Let's see what happens. Let's see. First of all, we need to say the next row on all of these things here. That's something I didn't realize. The next row is going to be equal to whatever's on this row plus 1. So let's just hit F8 and see what that actually does. So this becomes a 3, but we still need to have the first and third rows. So let's see here. Control C and Control C. And so this is going to be column 1. And that equals column 1 with no additions to it. Delete that. Now this thing should actually be equal to whatever's in column 2. Oh boy, let's see. Let's go up. Let's see. That equals still going to be 1, okay? And this equals 2 plus 1, which we've already done. Now this thing needs to equal whatever's in column 2 of the new row plus 1. So it needs to be 1, 3, and then 4. So column 3 of the new row equals column 2 of the new row plus 1, which equals 3. Or no, it will equal 4. Here we go. Hit F8. So we've got some pretty good solid rules down here. Now let's see, let's loop through a little bit more and then we'll zoom ahead a little bit. 6, 7, 8, no, it's not going to be that for some time. So we're just incrementing that 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 6, 1, 3, 7, 1, 3, 8. You can see that over to the left happening here. So now this is equal to 8, so we have to do something special. Is this one in column 2 a 7? It sure isn't yet. It's going to be a while. So we're going to do the same thing. The one in column 2 is going to increment based off of that number. It's going to be a 4, and this should be a 5. 1, 4, 5. Oh, goody gumdrops. It's working. Zoo, 147, 148, 156, 157, 158, 167, 168, and now here's the ticker because, or here, excuse me, here's the kicker. That is not equal to 7 yet, but it's about to be 7, 8. Okay, so now we go here. This is an 8, yes, and this is a 7, yes. So what do we do? What do we do? We need to increment whatever's in column 1 plus 1, and then we need to start over and do 2, and then no, it'll be 2, 3, 4. So, and then that should be the entire code. It should cover itself in this tiny little loop we've created. So we know that's going to say yes. So we're going to hit F8. So yes, this is a 7, and this other one was an 8. So what do we do? Let's see. So the next row is in column 1 is going to be equal to the current row plus 1. So let's do that. Let's hit F8. Okay, so that became a 2. That's what we wanted. But then we need to copy and paste this and tweak just a smidge, because that's good stuff. Okay, now we need this one, the next row in column 2, to be equal to whatever column 1 is, plus 1. And then the next one will be whatever the heck that was, plus 1. So, pretty simple. We've done it before. Let's see, column 2 is going to be equal to whatever, actually, the next row, the one that we're looking at, on column 1 is plus 1. And then do the same thing. Whatever column 2 of the next row is, plus 1, is going to be what column 3 is. Let's see if that worked. I'm going to scooch up a hair. F8. F8, this should be a 3. F8, this should be a 4. It is. That's fantastic. And I'm going to take out that stop marker. I just wanted to see what happens. So let's hit F8. So this should be 2, 3, 5, 2, 3, 6, 2, 3, 7. I'm gonna scroll a little bit here, so we're still with me. 2, 4, 5, 2, 4, 6, and then 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, 6, 7, 2, 6, 8. If we've done everything correctly, and I think we have, 2, 7, 8, and here we go. We should increment that one, 2, 3, 4, or 3, 4, 5, 3, 6. Great. I'm just gonna hit. You know what? I'm going to take this off. I'm going to hit F5. Complete the whole stinking thing. Shazam. And we're done. Let's check our work here. 3, 5, 7, 3, 5, 8, 4, 5, 6, 4, 5, 7, 4, 5, 8, 4, 6, 7, 4, 6, 8, 4, 7, 8, and then we go to 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 8, 5, 7, 8, and then we go to 6, 7, 8, and we're done. Just on row 56 like we were told that we should be on. And you can change those rules very simply. How do you change those rules? By saying, and you know what, I did a no-no. What I should have done is use these variables, because then you can just change this once, and then all your mins and all your maximums is correct. So let's change it. Anytime you see the number 6, just change it to C1 max, and that's the only time we have that. Anytime you see C2 max, or anytime you see 7, let's replace it with that variable. So the variables will do all the work of remembering what we need to remember. And finally, C3 max is equal to 8 at the beginning. So anytime we see an 8, we could just replace it with that variable, and it'll save the value of 8 for that. So now we could change our rules up a little bit. So let's rerun our code now. Let's say, how about C3 max should be 10, or no, it can't be 10. It could be 10. What am I saying? And then C1 max could be 4. What the heck? Let's see what happens. So I'm going to hit, we don't even need this next row code, do we? I'm going to comment that out. Let's see what happens with our crazy rules macro now. All we had to do is change these 3 variables, and now it's going to compare. This will say, is this one 4, and this one, is this one 7, and this one, is this one 10, and it'll say, is this one 10, is this one 7. So let's rerun our code with the new rules. In fact, I'm going to clear all this out, hit the delete key, and zoom up to the front. Let's hit F5 to run our code. It's done already. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 5, 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 3, 4, all the way to 10, all the way to 10, until I got to 4, 7, 10. There is your solution. I hope that helps you. I'm going to change it back to 6, 7, 8. You guys can download this for free on my Dropbox folder that I'm sharing with the public. You should see the link on our on the video description here, as well as please subscribe, please like if you like, and keep on trucking, you guys. You can do anything you want. Set your mind to it. So also, if you don't have a Dropbox account, you don't have to get one, but you certainly would benefit you if you do, because every time I update folder in my Dropbox here, I just open it up, change something. Anytime I change it, everything on all my other computers that have my Dropbox folder automatically update. And in fact, every time I drag and drop or file save as one of my workbooks in there, it automatically uploads to the internet so that you guys can download it. And it's pretty nifty, and it's a free service. So get yourself a Dropbox. Be sure and click on my link. And if you do, you'll get an extra 500 megabytes on your account. That's half a gig right there for your Dropbox account. And I will, as a kickback, I will give an extra 500 megabytes on my Dropbox account for you joining using my referral link. But yeah, it's free. There's never any money involved unless you want to get your company involved and whatever, have like a terabyte online or something. And even then, it's only like, what is it, 20 bucks a month or something. So anyway, Dropbox is pretty awesome. This macro is pretty sweet. So thank you very much, Mr. Sale All, for such an interesting challenge today. I'm going to clear these out, and I'm going to let you guys have at it. Thanks for watching, and God bless everybody. Hope you guys keep on kicking it, VBA style. Bye-bye.